Listen closely. Can you hear it? Before you see him, you will hear him. It starts as a low rumble, shaking the ground beneath your feet. Then come the trumpets. Not the holy trumpets of angels, but the discordant, chaotic blasting of 1,000 instruments playing at once. Cymbals crashing, drums beating. A cacophony of madness that drowns out your own thoughts. And then, the voice. A roar so loud, so overwhelming, that the summoner cannot understand a single word. If you do not have the will to command him to be silent, this noise will break your mind before the ritual even begins. This is not a teacher like Prince Stolas. This is not a trickster like the lesser imps. This is royalty. This is raw power. He is the 9th spirit of the Ars Goetia. He is the most obedient servant of Lucifer. He commands 200 legions of spirits, and he rides upon a dromedary camel wearing the crown of a glorious king. His name is Paimon. In the hierarchy of hell, few entities command as much respect and as much fear as King Paimon. He is one of the 4 kings of the cardinal directions, ruling over the West. He holds the keys to all arts, all sciences, and the deepest secrets of the human mind. He can give you dignity. He can enslave the thoughts of your enemies. But unlike other spirits who may bargain, Paimon demands submission. To call him is to invite a hurricane into your home. Tonight, on Nocturne Demonology, we lower our heads and silence the noise. We are going to analyze the profile of the Roaring King. We will explore his retinue, his powers, his connection to the element of water, and the specific, dangerous rituals required to approach his throne. Prepare yourself. The king is approaching. To understand the magnitude of King Paimon, we must look at his rank. In the lesser key of Solomon, the spirits are divided into ranks: kings, dukes, presidents, earls, and so on. Paimon is a king. In fact, he is often cited as the king who is most obedient to Lucifer. This phrase is crucial: obedient to Lucifer. It implies a direct chain of command. While other demons might act on their own chaotic impulses, Paimon acts with the authority of the Emperor of Hell himself. When Paimon speaks, he speaks for the crown. Historically, Paimon appears in almost every major grimoire. In the Pseudo-Monarchia Daemonum by Johann Weyer, 1577, he is described with great reverence. In the Dictionnaire Infernal, he is depicted distinctly riding his camel. And in the Goetia, he is the 9th spirit. But his origins go back even further. Some occult scholars link Paimon to ancient Mesopotamian goddesses or jinn kings of the Middle East, given his association with the camel and the desert environment. He rules over the West. Now, this is a point of contention. In some texts, Paimon is associated with the West. In others, he is the king of the Northwest. Why does this matter? Because in ceremonial magic, direction is everything. The magician must face the correct cardinal point to open the gate. If you face east while calling a king of the West, you are knocking on a door that has no wall. His element is water. This surprises many, given his desert imagery. But in the occult, water represents the subconscious, emotion, and the fluid nature of the mind, which Paimon controls perfectly. His metal is gold, the metal of kings, and the Sunday. To summon him, one must wear the lamen made of pure gold. Visually, King Paimon is one of the most distinct entities in the entire Legion. He does not appear as a monster. He does not appear as a wolf, or a dragon, or a decomposing corpse. He appears as a man. The texts describe him as a man with an effeminate or beautiful face, wearing a precious crown, riding upon a dromedary, a one-humped camel. This imagery is striking. The contrast between the rugged, beastly camel and the beautiful, almost delicate face of the king creates a sense of unease. It suggests that his power is not in his muscles, but in his mind. But he is never alone. A king does not travel without his court. When Paimon manifests, he is preceded by a host of spirits. The texts say he comes with men with trumpets and well-sounding cymbals and all other sorts of musical instruments. Imagine the scene. You are in your ritual circle in the dead of night. Silence surrounds you. Suddenly, the room is filled with the deafening sound of an invisible orchestra. The music is hypnotic, chaotic, and terrified. It is a display of wealth and status. Sometimes, two other kings named Labal and Abalam, or Bebol and Abalam, accompany him, along with 25 legions of their own spirits. If the summoner is not prepared for this crowd, for this noise, for this sheer volume of spiritual pressure, the ritual fails immediately. Paimon tests your resolve by overwhelming your senses. He wants to know, are you a king in your own right? Or are you a peasant begging for scraps? There is a specific instruction in the Ars Goetia times regarding Paimon that exists for no other demon. It states, "At his first coming, he appears with a great cry and roaring, such that the magician cannot well understand him unless he can compel him. When Paimon arrives, he screams. He speaks in a voice that sounds like a rushing waterfall or a thunderclap. He might be speaking a forgotten language, or he might simply be projecting raw energy. This is the first test. The magician cannot cower. The magician cannot cover their ears. To work with Paimon, you must possess the authority to calm him down. You must command him to speak clearly. The classic command is, 'Peace, King Paimon. I command thee to speak in my native tongue, clearly and without deception.' Only when his voice lowers, when the roar becomes a whisper, does the negotiation begin. And you must observe the etiquette. You do not demand things of Paimon like you would a lesser spirit. You request, you bargain, and you must offer something in return. The Goetia warns that Paimon expecteth sacrifices. In modern times, this is interpreted not as blood, but as creative energy, art, or public proclamation of his power. Disrespect him, and he will simply leave. Or worse, he will stay, and he will twist your mind until you forget who you are. What can this powerful king give you? Why do occultists risk their sanity to call him? Paimon is the master of three things: knowledge, dignity, and influence. First, universal knowledge. The text says, he can teach all arts and sciences, and other secret things. He can discover unto thee what the earth is, and what holdeth it up in the waters, and what mind is, and where it is, or any other thing thou mayest desire to know. Read that again. What mind is, and where it is. Paimon understands the architecture of consciousness. He knows how the brain creates reality. He can explain the nature of the universe, physics, and metaphysics. He is the ultimate philosopher. Second, dignity and honor. He giveth dignity and confirmeth the same. If you are seeking a promotion, fame, or a position of authority, Paimon paves the way. He can manipulate the perception of others so that they view you as a leader. He grants charisma. He makes you shine like gold in the eyes of your peers. Third, subjugation. He bindeth or maketh any man subject unto the magician, if he so desire it. This is the darker side of Paimon. Because he understands the mind, he can break it. He can influence the thoughts of your enemies, making them docile, making them agree with you, or making them obsessed with you. He also grants good familiars spirits who can teach and assist the magician in daily tasks. These familiars are not just pets, they are fragments of Paimon's own legion, highly intelligent and capable. We cannot discuss King Paimon without addressing the cinematic masterpiece that brought him into the mainstream, Ari Aster's Times, Hereditary Asterisk. In the film, Paimon is the antagonist, worshipped by a cult that seeks to implant his spirit into a male host. The movie gets several things right, and several things wrong. What they got right: the sigil. The movie uses the correct goetic seal of Paimon, the desire for a male host. In demonology, Paimon is a masculine energy, solar, gold, and prefers masculine vessels for manifestation. The severed heads. While not explicitly in the Goetia, the theme of offering heads or minds aligns with Paimon's dominion over the brain. The crown. The imagery of the crown is central to the film. What they got wrong: the chaos. In the movie, Paimon is portrayed as a chaotic evil force destroying a family. In reality, Paimon is a king of order. He is obedient. He is precise. He does not usually engage in petty haunting of a suburban family unless a specific pact was made. The clucking sound in the movie is a creative invention, likely a nod to his roaring voice or the sound of the camel's hoofs. However, the movie perfectly captures the feeling of Paimon's presence, the heavy, suffocating atmosphere, the sense that royalty has entered the room and you are not worthy. King Paimon is not a beginner's spirit. He is not an entity you call upon because you lost your keys or because you want to impress your friends. He is a cosmic force of ancient intelligence. He represents the absolute power of the mind, the ability to understand the universe and to bend the wills of others. But the mind is a fragile thing. To invite Paimon in is to risk having your own mind overwhelmed by the roar of his legions. If you seek him, approach with gold, approach with the respect due to a king, and above all, find your own voice. Because if you cannot speak louder than the roar of the West, you will become just another instrument in his eternal orchestra. This concludes the profile of the ninth spirit. We have explored the teacher Stolas, we have distinguished the rebel Lucifer, and now we have met the King Paimon. The Ars Goetia still holds 69 more secrets, 69 more keys to the door of the abyss. Which door shall we open next? Subscribe to Nocturne Demonology. Share this video with those who seek the truth. And remember, the silence is just as dangerous as the noise.